Tejera, reeling from the relentless barrage of guerrillist missiles, found itself incapacitated as its weapons facilities lay in ruins, rendering any further production futile. The weapon production rate plummeted to zero, leaving Tejera solely reliant on the arsenal amassed before the devastating attacks. Ruta, calculating the aftermath of his strikes, predicted a lengthy recovery period, estimating it would take up to 6 months for Tejera to restore its weapons production capacity. Undeterred, Ruta issued orders for the guerrillist army to persist in their offensive. In response, President Wiza of Tejera addressed the nation via television, delivering an official declaration of war against the guerrillists. He denounced the conflict as an unjust war fueled by greed and territorial expansion, a war that promised anguish and desolation. Despite the impending loss of sons, fathers, and husbands, Wiza rallied the nation with a resilient spirit, calling for unity and justice. He offered condolences to those mourning the loss of loved ones, acknowledging the painful chapter unfolding in Tejera's history. The chapter encapsulates this tumultuous moment in Echoes of Defiance. The broadcast spread across Tejera like wildfire, igniting a fierce determination in the hearts of its citizens. In living rooms and market squares, people gathered to listen to their president's words, finding solace in his unwavering resolve. For many, it was a call to arms, a reminder of their duty to defend their homeland against those who sought to conquer and subjugate. In the aftermath of President Wiza's address, Tejera mobilized its forces, preparing for the inevitable onslaught from the guerrillists. Military personnel worked tirelessly to fortify defensive positions and bolster their ranks, knowing that the coming days would test their courage and resolve like never before. Meanwhile, in the neighboring country of Leoni's, President Lysen refused to remain idle. A binding alliance treaty with Tejera dictated mutual support in times of war, forged with the intention of curbing guerrillist expansion. Anticipating an inevitable conflict, President Lysen vowed unwavering support, declaring Leoni's commitment to stand with Tejera against the guerrillists. The announcement sent shockwaves through the international community, signaling a potential escalation of the conflict to a regional scale. But for President Lysen, there was no question of backing down. He saw the guerrillist aggression as a threat not just to Tejera, but to the stability and security of the entire region. And he was determined to do whatever it took to ensure that justice prevailed. As tensions mounted and the threat of war loomed ever closer, diplomatic channels buzzed with activity as world leaders sought to defuse the crisis. But behind closed doors, alliances were forged and strategies devised, each side preparing for the inevitable clash that lay ahead. In Tejera, President Wiza worked tirelessly to rally support from neighboring nations, seeking allies to bolster his country's defenses against the guerrillist onslaught. Despite the devastation wrought by the initial missile strikes, he remained undeterred in his determination to resist the enemy's advances and protect his people at all costs. But even as Tejera prepared for war, the toll of the conflict weighed heavily on the hearts and minds of its citizens. Families grieved for loved ones lost in the initial attacks, their pain a stark reminder of the human cost of war. Yet amidst the sorrow and despair, there was also a fierce determination to fight back against their oppressors, to reclaim their sovereignty and defend their way of life. In the days that followed, Tejera braced itself for the next wave of guerrillist aggression, knowing that the fate of their nation hung in the balance. But no matter what the future held, they would face it with courage and defiance, united in their resolve to stand against tyranny and oppression. And as the echoes of defiance reverberated across the land, they knew that they would never surrender, no matter the cost.